Previously on Let's Share Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
Monokuma said he wasn't gonna have a stay tuned after the action pack class. What the heck? Monokuma said stay tuned after. He wouldn't say that, but we did. And sure, that commercial break lasted about a week or so, but
the point is we're back now.
Yes.
And now, back to sharing the despair. Hey guys, Pokey here, and I just wanted to apologize to you guys for how long this video took to come out, and I wanted to apologize in advance because this video definitely has some problems. You might have noticed, or definitely have noticed, that there's an echo to a lot of the videos that I've made, like 90% of them up to this point, because I didn't record them with headphones on, so you hear the game audio, and the game audio being recorded by the microphone, so that's been a problem up to this point. I'm working on fixing it for Steins Gate Zero. It didn't really work out for the latest episode, but it's definitely gonna, the echo for game audio is gonna keep happening for Let's Share Danganronpa and Danganronpa 2 because they've already been fully recorded and we can't use a headphone because both me and Static need to hear the episode. But this episode was really strange because not only was the game like echoey, which is kind of noticeable, but our voices actually echoed, and it started out like barely noticeable at all, I think, and then it just got worse and worse, just slightly, but then eventually it just, at this timestamp that I'm about to show you, I don't know what it is yet, but it just all comes together to create this really weird, huge echo that makes a lot of it inaudible, a lot of what we say. So basically what I had to do was I had to go through, I had to use like captions to make it clear what we were saying, cut out a lot of the things that weren't necessary that we said, so there are going to be some really weird cuts, and the weirdest part is that the echo is going to pretty much just fix itself towards the end, and I don't think it'll happen again in future videos, even though we've recorded all of Danganronpa already, so not really sure. I'm hoping it won't, but here's the timestamp where the issue stops happening. But I don't really know what to say. I tried my best to make this a more enjoyable video. It took some time, which is why this came out so late, and I'm sorry once again, but I do have some exciting things coming up, so hopefully that'll make up for it. Sorry once more, and I hope you enjoyed the video regardless of the problem. Yeesh.
we really know nothing about this case, do we?
Yeah.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order,
But why?
but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then.
But
Let's
why?
see.
Is the what? Oh, it's Hangman's Gambit!
Yeah.
Whoa! No, I knew it immediately. Yeah. Oh jeez, I have so little
We
health.
both noticed at the same time.
I've got it! Taka's wristwatch! See? Look! It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer, because as of last night,
You! How long were you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls!
So if it wasn't broken after 6
I
last
already
night,
knew!
then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
Oh, school life is gonna be fun!
Yeah.
It's gonna be even more fun because I'm gonna have to remember all of the voices that I haven't done in eons!
Oh yeah.
And so are you!
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Makes sense. But then again, this is just another key example of Byakuya coming from point A to point A.
Yeah.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that's still Hifumi.
Ooh, yeah.
Huh? What was that? Okay, I got told recently that, my Hino voice sounds like Timmy Turner.
You do it again.
What was that?
I don't hear it.
I kinda hear it, and I won't be able to ever stop thinking about it.
Okay.
That came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi! He's in the nurse's office! This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together.
Keep flashing back at the
Except
same
for Hiro and
moment.
Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
So, the first trial, the courtroom was red, right? Or was it mostly a dark blue? And the second one was the dark blue one. And now we got stripes.
That's totally true! We're all in the clear!
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
Does that make sense?
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
I sure do hope he's not actually the killer.
At least he's honest, you know.
Don't just go making stuff up!
Are those pictures at varying heights? Like,
Oh, yeah,
at the
those are the
character's actual height?
Yeah, those are the actual heights of the characters.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared.
Finally, we're gonna talk about that.
When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct?
Up on the body.
Of course not.
And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing. Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
She was unconscious.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
didn't do either of them anyway. In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved
And
either
I'm not
of
gonna be
their
able
bodies.
to have time to figure out her deal in the main game, so I'm gonna have to do that in school life, aren't I?
Unless you wrap up Choco's assuming she's not in college.
Well, I do have plans for free time, because I do have my theory. So if my theory is at least 75% correct, then I'm gonna spend the rest of my free time with Hiro, and then get his out of the way.
On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
You could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body
Here's where my
apparently
theory comes
disappeared
in.
for 1 minute for Hina
Yeah.
to clear eyes off it, but to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Oh,
An elevator?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
My theory!
Yes.
The dead body moved on its own?
It wasn't that bad.
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is
Yeah.
we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
My theory!
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi is still alive. Is it really possible? Yeah! Now it's happening! Boxes.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No! First time he failed!
Oh no.
Wait, what? Oh. Nobody believes me. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say.
Uh-oh, have we already come to the end of the debate? Well then, the class trial is officially adjourned. Now it's time to reveal who's the black end. Oh. It would appear that one with the most votes is Makoto!
Why?
However, Makoto is not the black end. Too bad! Looks like the real killer gets to graduate. Congratulations to them! On the other hand, everyone else must now be punished.
Is this really the end for all of us?
What do you say? Want to give it another shot?
I refuse to give up yet.
Oh wow! Help!
Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Shoot! I knew it!
Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's
Because Candy's
discovery.
last account with.
You haven't run out of things to fire.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi,
I'm trying to do the same.
there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No.
Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I gotta take Kyoko's point.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. It is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
That's it! Yeah! I did it! We're gonna edit that whole thing out, aren't we?
Probably.
Yeah.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all,
That's why
if
there
two
were
bodies
two
have been
bodies.
found, there really should have been two announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
We were dead yet.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. Huh? He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
First time it was played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. I keep referring to the equipment room as a supply closet.
I got it!
There we go.
We heard it a second time in the repository when we rediscovered the two bodies.
Big Mom. Bodies to discover. Good amount of time you can use, however you like. But the boss time will be in.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet.
I think I caught on to this pretty quickly.
Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
What?
Oh, I know!
Oh.
Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
You got it.
I want to find her! I want to friendship her!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
So much. Also, what's up with the door?
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
Dang
The
it.
next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, it's wrong.
I've been waiting so long to present that evidence.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses.
Yeah!
That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And
Kinda sweaty.
I found the item he used
Is that
to
just
wipe them
normal?
clean in the nurse's
Or-
office trash can. I got it!
Why do we have to find
It
that?
was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the
But why would you
bloodstain
throw
on
it
the
out?
cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
Oh god. Why does he know this?
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
My appreciation for Byakuya goes up with everything that he says.
You're sure it's not Stockholm Syndrome?
It's Stockholm Syndrome.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
Hang on a minute. Tissues are gonna scratch up her glasses. And if your glasses have scratches, you can't really see very well, therefore you can't commit the perfect crime.
Okay.
Right?
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
10 months.
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses
Chuck.
owner?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And it must have been
Why
him.
would someone else do it?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet.
Theory!
Okay.
And with that, the impossible task of moving his
It
copious
just keeps going back to my theory.
is possible, wouldn't you say?
Should we ever explain what that
I don't know.
theory
Your
is?
theory is basically everything that's been explained so far.
Yeah. I'm surprised with how accurate it actually is so far.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of
Oh!
emergencies.
That's what's
Probably used
different.
one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Oh,
It could only have been
Taka also moved his own body, even though he's been dead since 6 a.m.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared,
Oh.
y'all went looking for them, right?
That would make sense. And that's where the theory stops, because that's not right at all. In my theory isn't right, that is.
So me and Sakura headed to the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact
Oh,
pointing to
no.
his involvement has yet to be revealed.
Oh
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
No. That guy was important, but...
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his...
You have to include that detail.
Makoto's salty that he had to go in there. He wants everyone to
It was
know his
Kyoko.
sacrifice.
It was-
No, Kyoko made Makoto get it.
Nope.
I'm certain she made
That
Makoto
was
get
the
it.
note.
Huh?
That was the note.
Yeah.
Because rigor mortis. And she was like,
Yeah, okay, so I'm certain Kyoko made Makoto get both pieces of paper because first of all she can't fight rigor mortis and second of all she didn't want to go into Hifumi's pants.
no, because remember she said the line is with, what was it? It's like socks or something?
Oh yeah.
It was Kyoko did.
Well then Makoto wants everyone to know Kyoko's sacrifice.
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
It's a shame that we don't get to see Makoto's emotes very often.
Yeah.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
But in the other note, was it the rec room? No, it was the...
I've already forgotten. We should have read that more carefully.
I want to say supply closet, but I know it's not the supply closet.
Repository.
No, it wasn't the repository either. It was the equipment room.
Yeah.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
It was all planned. It was a setup.
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Pets. I wish I guessed that.
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello?
over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Happy!
I immediately thought, oh, that app, that's kind of like Musical.ly.
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
I still love her nicknames for everyone.
Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still, I can't let her get to me. I know I gotta present!
Make your argument.
Wait a minute. Maybe I'm just thrown off by the fact that there's 5 of them?
Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Nice.
Whoa!
No, that's wrong.
First try.
And I was supposed to guess, too!
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
360 no scope!
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet.
My brain still wants me to say supply closet, though I know it's the equipment room.
The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Why couldn't we have met her sooner?
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
I just used something that's really obviously wrong and just tried to trick the 2 dumbest people here.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
I know what it is! This is paper.
I got it! When I searched Taka's
wow.
body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper.
Actually, Kyoko found that?
If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
How can you test this? Do they just have them with them?
Yeah,
Do they have all of the evidence physically with them?
some of it.
Okay. I actually kind of want to know how they're presenting some of this evidence. Do they, like...
Yeah, it's
Does
kind
that
of weird
mean-
because, like, when they talk about like the dead body, it's like, hey, look at the dead body's hands. It's like I can't do that.
What if they... What if the e-handbook has a camera on it and you just kind of take a picture?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but why would they need Hifumi's camera then?
Oh, Celeste just wanted it.
Maybe. But if she really just wanted the camera, then she could have just used her e-handbook to do it!
Yeah, but that's just a headcanon.
That's true!
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Same paper.
They're from the same piece of paper.
Or where they get the paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note, Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip,
Okay, nice pun.
leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Yuri!
Wow. I'm actually impressed. You got like you got a lot of stuff right.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened.
You're a master today.
I was just trying to put together the pieces.
I tip my non-existent hat to you.
Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
And we'll find out whether he's alive
No!
next time.
No! Oh, I suppose it would make editing easier.